Da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum. What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, another special Kickstarter expansion review. And today I'm very excited checking out Good Cop, Bad Cop, Undercover from Overworld Games. It's for 4 to 8 players, ages 12 plus. It'll take about 10 to 40 minutes to play. And Good Cop, Bad Cop, Undercover is the second expansion to one of my favorite games of all time, Good Cop, Bad Cop. This one is going to add new equipment cards, which are my favorite aspect of the game, and new undercover roles that you will have in front of you, which will essentially give you, and only you, a unique action you'll be able to take on your turn. Another expansion, so it seems like a no-brainer. Is it? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you. Alright, then we're going to take a look at what's showing inside of Good Cop, Bad Cop, Undercover. Before we get started, I do want to mention this is the promotional copy in front of me, so take everything you see here with a grain of salt. First and foremost, we got our handy-dandy rule sheet. It is one page, double-sided, full color, and I wish it was longer. There's going to come some scenarios where you'll be like, I'm not quite sure what to do here or there. Hopefully they add just a little bit more of this, maybe a FAQ specifically pertaining to some of the equipment cards, which I'll talk a little bit about later. But overall, it's a well-done rule booklet that will have you up and running and understanding how the game works in no time at all. So what comes inside Good Cop, Bad Cop, Undercover? First, you're going to get a new lead investigator card, and this is just going to add the new action, which is cover. So you can use the ability on your cover card. Now, what is a cover card? Well, these are going to be your cover cards right here, and each player is going to be dealt a cover card. And this will be a special action, a special ability that you will be able to take that no one else will be able to do. So I'll read a couple of them off to you. Hustler, trade your equipment card for any other player's equipment card. Then you may take the equip actions. That was pretty cool. Interrogator, target player flips an integrity card face up. Infiltrator, investigate any player. You may choose to view a covered integrity card. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about how that works in a second. After investigating, you may choose to move that player's cover to any one of their face-down integrity cards. We'll read one more. Then the Transporter. Take any action before or after you take that action. Move any player's cover to any one of their integrity cards. Now, how the cover cards are going to work is they're going to go over your honest or cryptic cards that you have in front of you. So you will have these 3 cards as per the normal game in front of you. And your cover card would go over whichever one you want to keep secret or wherever you decide to put it. So for instance, we have 2 honest, we have 2 crooked, so I might go ahead and put it right here over this honest card right here. So that means no one can investigate this particular card right now, but they can investigate other cards. Let's just pretend somebody looks at this card, they now know I'm honest. Now that cover goes over to this guy, which reveals this one to be vulnerable to getting investigated. So it is going to be moving around, and some cards and some cover cards will negate the normal way you do that. So next we have equipment cards, and more equipment cards. You're going to get a lot of new equipment cards in this game, and they'll have a little pair of sunglasses right there, so you will know that they're from the expansion. I'll read off a couple of them, because they are just your typical equipment cards. They do pretty cool things. So crutches, place this card face up in front of a player who has been eliminated. They are no longer eliminated, but the only action they may take on their turn is equip. So this essentially brings someone back to life. But, you know, having equipment cards can make you very powerful. Concussion grenade. Each player who is holding a gun must turn one of their face-down integrity cards face up. If they cannot or choose not to, they must drop their gun. So they might potentially drop their gun. Scalpel. Use when a player takes a wounded token. The wounded player may take the arm action. So essentially you get shot, but now you can take an arm action and you can pick up a gun and point at whoever shot you. Security wand. Investigate another player. You may also turn one of your face-up integrity cards face down. And what you say, why would I possibly want to do that? Because the thing is, once all of your stuff has been revealed, you lose your cover card, which essentially means that you lose the ability to do that special action. So having them face down is what you want to do, because then you'll be able to still continue to do your cover one. Medkit, return a wounded token that has been given to a player. Helmet, use when you are shot. The player shooting you still drops their gun, but you are not shot. The player cannot choose another action this turn. You and that player each discard any cover you have. So as you can see, there's quite a few cards that will bring you back to life, prevent you from getting kill or healing you. And I'll talk more about that in the pros and the cons. You have the partner's gun. Use when a player holding a gun is shot. Take that player's gun without revealing an integrity card. You may not use this if you are already holding the gun. But as you can see, you're actually going to get a good deal of equipment cards, whereas the last expansion, you didn't get that many. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much what you're going to be getting inside of Good Cop, Bad Cop, Undercover. Alright then, Good Cop, Bad Cop, Undercover from Overworld Games. What are my final thoughts? With the pros, let's go with the cons. First, on the con side of the game, is not going to be for everybody for a couple of different reasons. First and obvious one is, if you didn't like the original Good Cop, Bad Cop, this is not going to change your mind. It does not do enough new. It doesn't really do too much new to bring people who didn't like the game into liking the game. Also, it still plays better at the higher player counts and at the even player counts than it does at the lower player counts and the odd player counts. Another comment I had with the game is the equipment cards. Now, I love the equipment cards, and I love a lot of the new equipment cards in there, and I like what they do, and the equipment cards are my favorite aspect of the game. But I noticed, in particular, with this expansion, there's a lot of what were deemed as God cards by my game group. Cards that extended the game by bringing people back to life or healing the agent or the kingpin. Or making people drop guns, or make people do various different things like that prolong the game, which make the holes in the game a little bit more glaring, like the player elimination. Like, you could be eliminated really quick, then if you don't get revived, you're just sitting there for 20 to 30 minutes, which is not fun when the game is longer. Also, there's some rules in there where it's like, I'm not quite sure how this rule syncs up with that. Like, if he switches this card over, does he lose his wound token? Does that mean he's automatically dead? What's going to happen in here? Then you have to consult the rules, which stretches out the game even longer. It does get a little bit convoluted. I think they're getting close to jumping the shark. They haven't reached that point yet, as you'll see when I get to the pros, but I feel like they're getting pretty close with that. As for the cover system, I like the idea of the cover system. I really do, and I like the cover system. I like the fact you have your own unique special ability that you can do. My only issue with the cover cards is the fact that some of them I feel are better in larger or smaller play counts. So you might get one that would be a lot better if there were more players or less players, and so that is something of note. Any other cons I have of the game? I can't really speak of the artwork because I don't have the finished copy, but based on the expansion in the original game and the cover on the art of this, it's probably going to be very nice artwork, but I can't speak to that. Any other cons I have with the game? Not that I can think of. Moving on to the pros. Good Cop, Bad Cop is one of my favorite games of all time. I really enjoyed the Bombers and Traders expansion, and I enjoy this expansion. But I feel like this is an expansion that is going to appeal mostly to people who get to play Good Cop, Bad Cop on a regular basis. This is definitely not going to be an expansion that you're just going to bust out with a new group of people and say, all right, we're going to add both expansions, we're just going to go crazy gung-ho. You know, some games, take like a Dominion, you can just throw everything in there and people will understand it. It's pretty simple. Not so much with this game. You need to kind of work their way up to getting to this expansion. But moving on to what I like the idea of the undercover thing. I like the little bluffing aspect of it where you put it in front of the one that you want people not to look at, or maybe it's not the one that you don't want them to look at, and you're just kind of messing with them. There's a little bit more head games. It's not as much as the Bombers and Traders one. I still think Bombers and Traders is a superior expansion to this game. But I love expansions like this. I love expansions that don't try and reinvent the wheel and just make a game that I already love a little bit better, and I feel like this one does. Now, with that being said, I don't know if I necessarily would play with all of the equipment cards in there. I might take out some of the quote-unquote God cards if you want to shorten the game. And I would recommend possibly even having like a little addendum to say, in the rulebook, let's say, even though I doubt there'll be room, where it's like, if you want a shorter game, maybe take out, say, 4 or 5 of these particular equipment cards. But that being said, it's still a heck of a lot of fun to just, have a couple drinks, get it up there, pull out guns, start shooting people, point them at stuff, threatening, especially if you have the Bombers and Traders expansion where you're like, I'm a bomber, bro, you can't shoot me, and so it adds to the game. It makes the game better. But that being said, I like the original expansion better. This one's not as good, but it still is a good expansion if you enjoy Good Cop, Bad Cop. So, overall, if you enjoy Good Cop, Bad Cop, this is probably a little bit of a no-brainer. It adds new equipment cards, adds the undercover system, which is pretty simple, adds a good deal of fun. So, this has been my thoughts on Good Cop, Bad Cop, Undercover. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know, have you ever gone undercover? Have you ever sneaked into a place you were not supposed to be and then tried to blend in? I've done that quite a few times. The key is to always look like You look at people like they don't belong. That's always my key. That's worked pretty well. Like when someone looks at you, you're like, it's that guy. But let me know in the comments below. Have you ever been undercover somewhere you should not have been? As always, thanks for your time, YouTube.